This is the first major traffic jam in Philadelphia's history. 18 full blocks of traffic. Big scene. Even more spectacular than rush hour in our country. Pete wanted to curse. A passing police car smashed his rearview mirror to pieces, and then go away without looking back. Pete got out of the car helplessly, pick up the lenses on the ground. I don't understand what's going on ahead. He was just about to get back in the car. A violent explosion suddenly sounded in the distance. The ground was shaking. The pedestrians on the side of the road are even more panicked and running around. The traffic police scolded everyone to get back to the car immediately. It's just that he was knocked flying before he finished speaking. A runaway heavy truck went on a rampage. The car in front is not on his level at all. Pete also felt something was wrong at this time. 1 foot of the accelerator follows the truck forward. However, just then, a fire truck suddenly jumped out, smashed Pete's car dozens of meters away. Fortunately, the people in the car are fine after the Pits get off the bus. And I found out, at this time, the street has already become a mess of porridge. Everyone screamed and ran for their lives. In the distance, there were screams. Pete, watch! Woman blows her head through the windshield of a car, pressing the driver under him and biting frantically. The man starts to twitch all over in just 12 seconds, and his eyes were cloudy. It has completely mutated into a terrifying zombie. In central Philadelphia at this time, the virus had already broken out. People behaving erratically in a chaotic crowd. At the current rate of infection, can't move for a day. Philadelphia will become a living hell. In a panic, Pete finds an RV. That's why he escaped with his family. Philadelphia is really a waste now. Pete keeps driving the car to the suburbs, hoping to hide in a sparsely populated place. It happened to be the eldest daughter's asthma attack. There is no way for a few people to return to the urban areas. This is a large supermarket. Everyone is frantically robbing for supplies to save time. Wife and young daughter go to get food and water. Peter took his eldest daughter to find medicine, but when he gets the medicine and meets his wife, but found that 2 people were bullying him. Pete kills a man without saying a word. The other one runs away. Just then, the police heard the sound and came this way. Pete immediately raised his hands. Who knew the police weren't looking at him? Instead, directly joined the zero yuan purchase action. Pete quickly ran out of the supermarket with his family, but their car is nowhere to be seen. There is no way. They can only find a place to temporarily hide. During this period, Dahe, a senior official of the United Nations, called, said he would send a helicopter to pick him up before dawn. Let him go as high as possible. Therefore, they broke into an apartment building that looked rather desolate. Hoped to last a night here. A kind Mexican family took them in. Peter told us what the plan was, and suggests the next day, they left in a helicopter with themselves. The Mexicans declined his offer. He still thinks it's safer here than outside. Persuasion to no avail. Pete has to do some preparation on his own. He tied a knife to a stick as a weapon. Wrap a thick magazine around your arm to prevent being bitten. The next day, the Pits walked out of the room nervously. They have to get to the roof before the helicopter arrives. Although several people are cautious, still found by a zombie, although Pete took him out with a single shot. But at the same time, the gunfire also attracted more wandering zombies. They can only run desperately to the rooftop. But these zombies seem to have drunk the nuclear wastewater of Little Japan. The thieves who run away are fast to hold them back. Pete fights with zombies. He was going to die. Suddenly, a gunshot. It was a Mexican kid who saved him. It turns out that Pete's family just left. Zombies break into their houses. Only the little boy escaped. When the 2 of them reached the rooftop, the helicopter just arrived. But the loud noise from the propeller attracted a large number of zombies. To buy time for my family, Pete is desperately pressing against the door. Zombies gnawing wildly from the hole. Fortunately, the magazine protected Pete's arm. After the family is safe, Pete just ran away. Zombies follow. It was led by the Mexicans who saved them. Soldiers fired decisively, buying time for Pete, with everyone's perfect cooperation. Several people finally escaped from here. 3 years later, the zombie virus broke out. The world is in jeopardy. It's no longer safe on land. Human survivors can only go to sea. This was originally an American aircraft carrier. Now it's the last survivor base. Peter arrived here with his family. I thought it was safe now. Unexpectedly, the official made a condition to him. If you want to live here, you have to serve in the military. Sudden outbreak of the virus. Everyone was caught off guard. Now the death toll is skyrocketing. But they didn't know anything about the virus. The biology doctor offered to see the first person to get sick. so that the symptoms of pre-infection can be passed. Study the configuration method of antidote. So the military dispatched a special team to South Korea. Peter and the doctor also went together. Certainly, Peter's main task is to be responsible for the safety of the doctor. Soon they arrived at a base in South Korea. Airplane doors open. The group of people observe the surroundings very cautiously. The doctor has never seen such a scene. Fingers on the trigger. I dare not relax for a moment. Suddenly, a zombie rushed out of the rainy night. Although he was shot by a member of the squad, but he's obviously not dead yet. The doctor was terrified. Turn around and run towards the cabin. The dumbfounded Pete is getting dumbfounded. This guy is not as good as the soy sauce guy in the village. Fortunately, the soldiers stationed at the base came to reinforce. This wiped out all the zombies. Seeing that the doctor is already cold, Pete doesn't care about him anymore. Enter the base with the other soldiers. Learn that Pete and others are here to find infected persons though. The soldiers led him to a room and pointed to the pile of ashes on the bed and said, "This is the man he was looking for." It turns out that infected person 0 is a doctor, because soldiers in the battalion died mysteriously. He was sent to investigate the exact cause of death. Because of extreme fear, doctors and infected soldiers burned to ashes by a fire. Can't find anything now. Just as Pete was frustrated, the man in the cage called out to him. This is an arms dealer. He does business all over the world. The man told Pete, there are only 2 countries in the world that can survive zombie attacks. One is North Korea. They will pluck out the teeth of tens of millions of zombies. This way zombies can spread the virus. The other is Israel. They build high walls to defend against their neighbors. Now it can be used to defend against zombies. The man said Israel had his partner, Yegan. He can help Pete. Without further ado, Pete quickly took a plane to Israel. It's as the man said. The high city walls became an important barrier against zombies. Zombies grinning outside the city. Show your teeth and claws. And in addition to some soldiers with guns on the streets of the city, the lives of ordinary people have not been affected much. Under the leadership of female soldiers, Pete finally met Jurgen. And here's another version of the truth. It turns out that the real virus originated in India. The United States secretly built a biological laboratory there, but the virus leaked due to an accident. The real infected person should be there. Just then, the people of the city began to sing and dance. Even women in headscarves whispered to the microphone, ready to improvise for everyone. And people get excited about it. So everyone started to tune into the rhythm. But they forgot. Zombies are most sensitive to sound. The song on the loudspeaker is like a death reminder. More and more zombies began to gather at the city walls, and the people in the city had no idea. The zombies rushed under the city walls. It is impossible to cross the wall of tens of meters at all. The bad thing is that there are too many zombies, and they are all agile. So, an unbelievable scene appeared just outside the city walls. Zombies fall together like ants, about to break through the last territory of mankind. But the people in the city are unaware of it, still singing and dancing. Pete wants to warn the leader that the noise is too loud, but it's too late. The zombies climbed the city wall dozens of meters high. Then they fall straight into the city, after just a few simple twitches. And they run into the crowd, and everybody runs away. The military immediately organized resistance, but there are too many zombies. Doesn't work at all. Helicopters also came for reinforcements at this time. They disrupted the human wall built by zombies, but not for tens of seconds. The zombie wall is built up again. Peter was escorted by soldiers, quickly left the square, but then the narrow alley is overcrowded. Although helicopters keep killing zombies in the air, there are still fish that slip through the net and get away with it. A zombie pouncing just smashed into the alley. Fortunately, there is steel mesh protection. The people below escaped for the time being, but the zombies didn't give up. I've been following them closely all of a sudden. The zombie grabbed the running soldier Pete wanted to save, but there are more and more zombies. Soldiers have no chance of survival. In despair, he pulled the grenade in his hand. After the explosion, the protective net collapsed. The alley is no longer safe. Pete and the others avoided the crowd, planning to rush to the airport from another street, but it was blocked by the zombies in front of it. They can only hide in private houses. During the battle, Female soldier bites fingered by zombie. Pete saw this and started to knife and fall. Just cut off her hand. The female soldier was in pain, but 12 seconds later, she really didn't mutate. Suddenly the iron gate collapsed. Soldiers throw grenades one after another, but the zombies keep coming in. Fortunately, the helicopter that picked them up also arrived at the designated location. Several people dare not hesitate, rush out quickly, seeing several people getting closer and closer to the helicopter. The zombie army is also here. The same zombie ladder, same recipe, same taste. In the end, the helicopter did not escape the fate of crashing. At the same time, airport planes are launched, intent to take off before the zombie tide arrives. Pete and others stopped the passenger plane, finally successfully boarded the plane at the last minute. Just 30 minutes. Israel just looked like paradise on Earth. In an instant, it became purgatory on Earth. Wait until everyone is quiet. Pete just remembered a strange thing. A group of zombies that bite people as soon as they see them, but deliberately avoided frail children. A bold idea came to mind. Pete quickly took out his satellite phone. Dial a familiar number. Due to special reasons, the Israeli airliner was unable to land. It stayed in the air for 3 days and 3 nights. The passengers on the plane were exhausted. Some even sat directly on the ground. Wang Kai uses the corridor as a self-driving runway. Call out a few times. The stewardess is just looking. Ignored. Wait for him to open the cabinet. A zombie rushed out with its teeth and claws. Pete was awakened in another cabin. The abnormal shaking made him sense the danger. Other passengers also realized that something was wrong. Looking around, Pete gently lifts the curtain. This look almost scared my soul. Then he quickly motioned everyone not to make a sound. Then stack all the suitcases together at the door. But a box suddenly fell. The sound successfully attracted all the zombies. The scene started to get completely out of control. Zombies bite everyone they see. Passengers panicked and fled for their lives. But now they ray a kilometer up. There is no escape at all. In a hurry, Pete grabbed a soldier's grenade. Without thinking, he threw it out. Finally, under the captain's safe operation, the plane landed in a clearing without a hitch. The two supported each other into the village, but the streets are empty, like a dead city. Seriously injured Pete can't hold on, fell to the ground. Wait until he wakes up again, but found a strange man standing in front of him. Pete just found out it was Dr. Connie from the guards who saved him. They are working on a solution to the mutated virus, but the virus is coming. That's not enough time. So Peter's going to tell you what he thought. The reason why zombies don't attack terminally ill children. Because of this germ spreading through healthy life. If a pathogen is injected into the body, you can avoid zombie attacks. Although there has been no physical research, but Pete's idea, it really shocked everyone. The biggest problem now is pathogen samples were found on infected floors. Researchers worked to save all humanity. Pete decided to take the plunge, along with the female soldier and another researcher. The building is very quiet at this time. Pete and the three had to slow down and move forward slowly because of a random sound will attract all the zombies in the building. Fortunately, they were lucky. I didn't encounter any wandering zombies along the way. The sample is about to arrive. The desperate researcher accidentally bumped into the cabinet. The abrupt voice instantly attracted a female zombie. In a hurry, the female soldier quickly killed her, but the gunshots activated more zombies. A few people can only run for their lives like crazy to get the other two to the pathogen. Pete deliberately ran in the other direction and tapped the railing. Sure enough, the single-minded zombie is chasing this way. Pete dare not neglect. After a coquettish move, he got rid of the zombies behind him. But I didn't wait for him to catch his breath. Another zombie appeared in the hallway. Wounds from the crash. The pain is unbearable. Pete has no intention of fighting, only escape. Eventually, he took refuge in a well-sealed laboratory, and the zombies followed. Pete can't get out now. The other side of the building. Female soldiers and researchers finally get samples of the pathogen, but on the way back, he was blocked by zombies. Fortunately, the researchers are familiar with the terrain here. The two of them made 7 turns and 8 turns. Finally ran to the connection corridor of the building. two returned safely, also successfully brought back the sample. But Pete is trapped in the lab at the moment. Zombies can't be saved, even when they are full of blood and resurrected. How is that good? Last minute, Pete decided to take a gamble. He found the needle, another random bottle of pathogen sample. Inject it into yourself without hesitation. This method has not been tested yet. I don't know if it will work. I can only leave everything to God's will. 30 minutes later, Pete is chilling. This should be a sign that the body has been infected. He stood up slowly, opened the glass door calmly, let the zombies in. Zombies clacking their teeth, but unexpectedly did not attack Pete. And it worked. The people in front of the surveillance were also pleasantly surprised. To reconfirm his news of this method, Pete emptied all the drinks from the vending machine. A series of noises attracted the zombies again. Pete didn't panic at all, just swagger through it, like an invisible man. When he came back, the doctor vaccinated him. At the end of the film, Peter is finally reunited with his family, World Health Organization, and they began to produce it in large quantities. Of course, the diseased strain is modified, harmless to human body, can disguise yourself perfectly in front of zombies. Immediately after, the vaccine was airdropped around the world. Humanity finally takes a breather. Later, the public has fully mastered how to use the vaccine, so massive cleanup operations began everywhere.